Okay, guys, I'm not quite sure if I'm on Facebook or not, Facebook Live or not, but please, guys, if you see that I'm on Facebook Live, please let me know. Thank you very much. Today, it's very excited session. It's very important for both part one and part two. In part one, definitely, you're going to get lots of questions in this part, and that's what we're going to explain about it. And for part two, definitely, OSCE cases, communication OSCE is important. And then there are lots of candidates. They asked me from part two, they asked me to do RPD design because they believe this task may be back again. Okay, let me check on the Facebook. Okay, guys, let me check. Please, guys, if you see me on Facebook, please, guys, let me know. Two hot guys in Sydney, right? I mean, New South Wales. Okay, guys, this session may not be recorded. So I believe it will be deleted after we finish it because we got from Facebook, we actually got some messages from Facebook that they want us to delete some of our videos and some of our recordings. So that's why I believe they will actually delete it by themselves. So please, guys, ensure you take notes. Let me check, guys, on S. I can see you right now, guys, on the Facebook page, which is very good. Please, guys, be on the Facebook page because actually we're going to have a long discussion today. And I believe you will have lots of questions to ask. So please, guys, ask questions on the Facebook. Am I, guys, audible to everyone? Let me check the on Facebook there. What's too slow? Okay. Wait. Home. That's a page. Live. Yes. Comments. Comment. Why it's upside down? Every time, guys, Facebook handle things differently. Please, admin, can you admit the candidate on Zoom, please, admin? Honestly, put this one down. Why the comment is down then? Anyway, guys, I cannot see the comments on the Facebook. I don't know what's the reason, but anyway, let me share the screen first. Let's zoom. Share screen. I'm not quite sure why I cannot see the comments still loading there. You know what will I do is? Yeah, now I can see. It takes very long time to see it. Okay, guys, I see your comments right now. So, guys, we can start. And then, guys, I would love to say, how is everyone of you guys doing? Guys, I would love to check on everyone of you. Hi, Dr. Nikita, how you going? Dr. Fatima, how you going? Dr. Natalie, how you going? Dr. Sangita, how you going? Dr. Tasneem Rafa, Dr. Simran, Dr. Bara, Dr. Muhammad, Dr. Monisha, Dr. Anam. No sound? Please, guys, am I audible, guys? Because Dr. Mehek says no sounds. Hi, Dr. Bara. No sound again? Why no sounds? I see my system works fine. No voice. Cannot hear. Okay, guys, please, guys, double check this, guys. Hi, Dr. Kanika, Dr. Ashika, Dr. Leia, Dr. Muhammad, Dr. Sangita, Dr. Shama, Dr. Fatima. Hi, Dr. Shivan, everyone. Hi, Dr. Amna. How are you going? Dr. Neshma, and everyone of you, Dr. Jailan, Dr. Gagandi, and everyone of you guys. Dr. Farzana. Okay, that is a good name. Yes, Dr. Yes, Dr. Tasmin, 42 degrees. Yes, it's too hot in Sydney or in New South Wales. Hello, everyone of you guys. How are you doing? Okay, today, RPD. RPD, one of the topic, RPD, one of the topic actually that I would say it is always a concern to the candidates. That was in the past, but I think these days it's not as before because we have our own recordings right now on the drive and my previous lectures. And then I really give it, I really paid or give it really a special attention. So that's why I believe it's not really as scary as before, but still many candidates, they really still struggle and they have some issues in it. And also because in exam, it's a very important topic. You're gonna get question from RPD definitely for part one and part two. Communication also is very important. And there are lots of candidates expecting to get the RPD design back again in OSCE in part two. That's why we have decided based on your voting, positive votings, that we do RPD today. Now, RPD. It's a very interesting topic, by the way. I know it's really very interesting topic and shouldn't be that much scary at the way some of you guys, how do you found the, what do you think about RPD? Do you think really, Dr. Mewas, how you going? Dr. Surisha, guys, what do you think about RPD? Do you think really, is it really hard to go through it or easy? Which one do you think? Let me check this again. Very interesting. I love to hear this, Dr. Ashneet. Confusion which RBD to give which patient. That's okay, Dr. Lay. We're going to discuss this today. We're going to discuss some of this and define the design. Both? Okay, I'm happy. Dr. Ayushi, how you going? Big heart to Dr. Ayushi. Where is the heart? I see. Easy with your sessions. Thank you, Dr. Nectar, to hear this. Function of clasp is tricky. We're going to discuss this today. Okay, guys, let's start. Ready, guys? Share screen. Can you see, guys, my screen? By the way, this session, it should take not less than 2-3 days, sorry, 2-3 sessions of classes to be able to complete it, but I'm trying to do my best to complete today. So please, guys, write down notes quickly, and then if you have any doubt, you can ask. But anyway, if something you have said, you can, if the recordings will be kept by Facebook, so in this case, you can hear it again, or you can listen to it again, but I'm not quite sure about Facebook. Are they going to remove it or not? Most probably they will remove it. Now, to understand about RPD designing and the components, because components very important for you. So we must start with first, in the first instance, what do you think, guys, the first things ever we need to start with in RPD, if you want to really understand about designing? Components, right? Before components, very good, Dr. Sangita. Very good, Dr. Leah. Classification. That's why we're going to start with classification. We're going to go with classification quickly. Let's guys go with classification first. Classification. You know what? I will not go through the stuff. You already have it in Bidu Bytes, and you also have it in the previous lecture. Let's just jump into the classification itself. Now, guys, this is class one. Everyone agree on this, right? What's class one? Just I'm going to go through this, guys, quickly. What's class one? It's class one because it's bilateral, like this side, right-hand side and left-hand side, free in the saddle. What does it mean, free in the saddle? It means This guy's the green part, we call it as a saddle. You know the saddle on the horse? It's something like the saddle on the horse. So now, bilateral, free in the saddle means the saddle in the back, it attaches only in one tooth in the front, but there is no tooth in the back to be attached to. And because they are bilateral, so we call it class 1. What about class 2? Class 2 is half of class 1. Yes, half, like unilateral, one side. And the one side is also free in the saddle. So it's not bounded. It's only bounded from one side, but the other side there is no teeth. There is no molar in the back. So now class 2 half of class 1, just to make it easy for yourself. What about class 3? Class 3, it's bounded. What does it mean bounded? It's fully bounded. What does it mean? It means it has one tooth in the front to put clasp on it and one tooth in the back to put clasp on it. So that's called class 3. What about class 4? Class 4 is a brother and sister to class 3. They are the same thing. The only thing is class 4 bounded as class 3, but must cross the midline like anterior. You see the midline? It must cross the midline. Guys, that guy's clear so far. So I can move on. Once you say yes, I will move on. Yes, thank you, Dr. Surisha, saying yes. Thank you. So now I can move on. Thank you, Dr. Kanika. Back again. So let's delete all of the stuff. And then we go to the next slide. Now, modification. What does it mean? If you have any space apart from the basic class, so first, we mention the class. How we mention the class? We mention class as class 1 or class 2 or class 3 or class 4. Based on, we count the class from the most posterior edentulous area. Like this is the most posterior and this is the most posterior. So now when we look at the two most posterior, is it unilateral or bilateral? It's bilateral. Is it free or bounded from each side? Is it free from the back side or bounded from each side? Free. So now bilateral, free in the saddle means class 1. Doctor, but what about the space? So any extra space between the teeth, we call it modification. So that's why that's called class 1, modification 1. What about here? Same things. Is it one unilateral or bilateral? It's bilateral, free end. It's bilateral saddle. Is it free end or bounded? Yes, the end is free here, no molar here, and no molar here. That's why it's still with class 1. And what about here? This is the space is modification 1. Doctor, are you serious? Is both cases they are the same class 1 modification 1? This is class 4, doctor. Yes, remember, we mentioned you count the class from the back, from the most posterior edentulous area. So we start in this direction. So we always start from the back direction, like from here to there. We never start from anterior to posterior. And by the way, class 4 never ever have any modification. Doctor, but they are long. Look at this. The space is long. There are lots of missing teeth. Modification only about the number of the spaces, not the length or the number of the missing teeth. Am I guys clear so far, guys, about this point? Look, I'm trying to give you the summary, so we can jump into the classification itself. Once you say yes, I only can see one yes. I can move on. Thank you, Dr. Shama, for saying yes, and Dr. Neshma and Dr. Kanika. Okay, now we can move on. Let's apply the same concept on the rest of the classes. Now, what about here? It is class 2. It is class 2. Why it's class 2? Because, as we mentioned before, it is unilateral, one side only. Doctor, but we have this one, yes, but not the most posterior, because we have the space, the most posterior this side, but this side is bounded between the teeth, so not the most posterior. So now what about this? It is class 2, because unilateral, free-ended saddle, and we have one modification, two modification, three spaces, so we call it class 2 modification 3. I hope it's clear so far. Now it's easy concept. What about this? If this is bounded or free in the saddle, bounded. So we mentioned before bounded mean class 3. So that's a class 3. And then how many spaces? There is one class 3, and then there is one more space. So how we call this one? Class 3 modification 1. What about this? Only one space. Is it bounded or not bounded? Yes, bounded. Does it cross the midline? The anterior teeth, yes, does it cross the midline? Now it is class 4. Guys, what do you think this class? Guys, what do you think, guys, this class? It's a good test for you right now. We mentioned we only count one thing in the beginning. We start from the back. Is that unilateral or bilateral? Is it bounded or not bounded? Yes, it's bilateral. And the free, not bounded, only bound one side, free end, the end is free. So now it is class 1. And what about the space? However, it's a big space. We still call it modification 1. Let me, guys, check your answer then. Good, I'm happy. Class 1 modification. Why is this important? For two reasons. One, in part 1 exam, they're going to give you a case like this and they ask you, what is the class here? So you must be able to classify it. And in part 2, once they give you the cast, they will ask you again, what is the class? Because you cannot do a design without knowing the class. Okay, back again. Easy so far, right? Rules, please, guys, you will find these rules, which is made by Applegate. He is very smart, guys. He made this rule after Kennedy made the classification, because Kennedy made the classification and then the rule added by Applegate. Anyway, please, guys, you will find most of the stuff in my video bites and the lectures we provide you before. You know what? Let me tell you something. Let's test our understanding by this slide. What do you think this is? Now, you're not going, I'm telling you from now, in the design, most probably, we're not going to compensate this tooth. We're not going to compensate it. We're not going to add a tooth here. What do you think of the design? Look, we start from here, from the most posterior edentulous area. Now I have one edentulous. Is it bounded or free-ended saddle? Bounded. So now we start from class 3 because we're not going to replace this area. This is X here. How many spaces do we have? One space, two space. Are we going to replace this? I doubt it. So now, seems like it's class 3 because bounded and modification 2. Let me check your answer. Class 3 modification 2. Perfect. Love it. Right? Very good. Easy so far. What if, just say, what if the patient insisted, or you have found there is a reason behind to replace this tooth. So which class is this right now? The most posterior edentulous space will be unilateral. So it's class 2. How many spaces? 1, 2, 3. So it will be class 2 modification 3. Do you agree on this? Thank you, Dr. Shama, and thank you, Dr. Esmat and Dr. Pelli and Dr. Arya. Okay, perfect, guys. I'm happy now. We can keep moving. The rest we mostly have discussed right now. Okay, we finished this one. Let me check if we finished the classification. That was good and quick. Let me check if we need to just discuss any of the rules may help us in the future while we do the designing. Okay, that's it. This, guys, this is not class 4, by the way. So this is class. Let me put this photo away. Guys, which class is this? The patient really need to get a proper scale and clean. Oh, yeah, right? If your class is class 1 modification 1, I'll be very happy. Thank you, Dr. Shiva and Dr. Muhammad and Dr. Agrawal and Dr. Shama. Thank you, and Dr. Melzima. Okay? So it's class 1 modification 1. Good. Now, let's move into the second part. Now, apart from classification, what else you must understand? To understand, we must discuss about the factors. So 1 classification, 2 factors. Let's now discuss about the factors. We'll be quick as well, like this. Share. I believe should be this one. Factors. Guys, what is this, guys? How we call this game? How we call it? Because the factors, which is mostly the mechanism, they're actually very important, the forces. Why? Because once you know the class, you want to give the right components and you still preserve the remaining structure, including teeth, the gums, and bone, which is periodontium, teeth, gums, and bone. These are the things you really need to protect them. To protect them, you must understand how every component, you go and put it together, and the shape of the components and the force in the component will affect the bone, like bone resorption. The gums will be irritated, and the teeth can be loose, and then periodontium can be lost. So that's why to understand about the factors, and we call it 2 things right now. We must understand the seesaw, right? The elephant and the frog. Let's now discuss this in details. No, I'm not going to go through all the stuff. You have it, guys, in Bidu Bytes, but I'm going to go shortly in this part, which is, I would say, it's very important to understand about the designing. Now, biomechanical, you must consider the biomechanical aspects when you design the RPD. Why? Bio means you actually going to pertain to living systems. So now we need to avoid this to happen. See, guys, this caries has happened because the selection of the clasp arm was wrong. That's why caries has happened. And then that's why also the selection of the other components was wrong. That's why it resulted in gum inflammation. That's why the word pio is very important. Means the effect of the components that may result in damage to the biological tissues. What are the biological tissues? The tooth, the gums, periodontium, the bone. Mechanical, related to forces. So bio, it will result in plaque. Plaque, so any factor will result in plaque, we call it bio. Any forces that is going to affect the tooth stability and disturb the tooth stability or the periodontium or the gums, we call it mechanical. This is force. So mechanical mean force. Bio mean plaque. Hygiene. So now, related to forces and its application to object, may result in looseness of the teeth, bone resorption, and other things. For example, in bio, if you're going to use short arm like this for RPI system, while the space, the sulcus space, is too short, less than 2 millimeter, in this case, every time when the patient tries to prise the teeth, or when the patient wire the denture on, for example, or the patient eating, the food will stuck then there and then result in plaque and then caries. That is the word pio. What about mechanical? Mechanical means if, for example, if it's a free in the saddle, like especially in class 1 or class 2, we don't prefer to use acre clasp without modification. Why? Because acre clasp is very strong. It's gonna put too much pressure and torque on the last tooth in the free in the saddle. In this case, that will result in the tooth become loose and then the bone will be resorbed. Guys, am I clear in these 2 points? They think it will help us to go through designing, and you really need it in your design and need it for part 1 exam. Why? Because they may ask you question about what the type of class we're gonna use here. Depends on the forces, you need to choose the right clasp. Depends on the pio, we're gonna discuss later on, you need to choose the clasp. Same with major connector, minor connector, all the stuff. Yes, guys, all clear? I'm very happy. Yes? Very good. Thank you, Dr. Shiva, saying it's clear. Let's keep moving on. Okay, forces. Forces, you have mainly 4 components in every force. You must know the type of the movement, the causes this movement can result in, the function of the partial denture that will resist this movement, and the component for this movement. 4 things you must understand about every single component or force or function. We have at least 4 movements. Guys, know it by now because we're gonna use these movements to understand better about the component and which component is responsible for every movement. Tissue word movement. So guys, what exactly going to move? Is that the denture or the tongue? Why you need to understand about the movement? Is that because you're worried about the tongue movement or the denture movement or the teeth movement? Which one of these mainly? When we apply the movement parts. Let me check your answer. Clinical based scenario. Thank you very much, Dr. Shashank. Thank you very much, Dr. Perley. So we're worried about the denture movement. So guys, now think about the denture movement. Denture movement, we have tissue wall movement. If the denture moves toward the tissue, what's gonna happen to the bone? Think about it. Think about it. If the denture moves too much, with too much force into the bone, like alveolar bone, what's gonna happen to the bone? Bone resorption. So now we need to prevent the bone resorption to happen. So what things can prevent the bone resorption to happen? Support. So now we call this function as support. So we need to support the denture to not put too much pressure on the alveolar bone and resulting bone resorption. Now, tissue wall movement, the function is support. The forces we need to prevent it because it may cause bone resorption, alveolar bone resorption. And components, example of components can be the saddle, it can be occlusal rests. So now saddle and occlusal rests, they will prevent the denture to move toward the tissues and prevent the bone resorption. Guys, am I clear about the first force and the components and function? Yes, clasp, not the whole clasp, Dr. Melsba. Adjust the clasp part and the base of the saddle. Clear? Very good. Now let's move to the second movement. We call it as tissue away movement. So now the denture will be moving away, like down, like this. Let's say upper denture will be moved down like this. In this case, if the denture falls down, if this is retention or support, retention. As if someone chewed, they actually chewing gums, and then the two dentures stuck to each other, the upper and lower denture stuck, and the denture moves away, the upper from the palate, and the lower moves away from the floor. We call it now issue in retention. So now, which component is important for retention? As a gonna be used as a clamp, which is, you see guys, the word clamp very close to clasp, right? So now, clasp system. Which part in the clasp? The terminal 1/3 of the retentive arm. Why I'm very clear in this information? Because if for part one people, you're gonna get question exactly from my words. The question you're gonna get exactly the words I'm using right now, because this is the clinical thinking part, not the whole clasp, only the terminal 1/3, the flexible 1/3 of the retentive arm. Why it's important for part two candidates this type of information? Because you need to draw it in the right way. Horizontal movement. So the movement, it goes right and left, not vertical. So now tissue ward movement, like this toward the tissue for upper. Tissue away movement, which is lower for upper, and this both vertical movements. But horizontal movements, as from the name is horizontal movement, is lateral movement, anterior-posterior movement. Why this is important? They are important for two functions: reciprocation and later on we're gonna talk more about reciprocation. Yes? What is question? Give me check this. Yeah, you're right. Yes, it helps in stability, but mainly it is reciprocation and bracing. These are the two things. And the stability mainly toward the Farcom line in horizontal way. We're going to discuss this in details as well right now. Perfect. Guys, is that guys clear so far? Very good. Horizontal movement. We go right now. Rotational movement. Rotational movement cross the Farcom line. There is a Farcom line which is going to be an imaginary line. We're going to discuss this in detail shortly now. An imaginary line between the last two clasps. Actually, to be more precise, the last two retentive arms, the last posterior retentive arms. When you draw an imaginary line right between these two clasps, that's called Farcom line. And then we need, in this case, prevent the rotational of the denture toward this Farcom line. That's what I'm going to explain to you right now. Guys, so far, guys, how many movements? 4 movements. Tissue word movement, which is support. Tissue away movements, which is retention. Horizontal movement, which is bracing and reciprocation. Rotational movement throughout the fulcrum, which is indirect retention. Tissue word movement for support. What are the components? Mainly rests, occlusal rests, and saddle. Tissue way movements. What are or what is the main components? The 1/3 retentive tip, if you want to call it this way, in the flexible retentive arm in the clasp system. Horizontal movements, any rigid component that's going to counteract the movement of the retentive arm. What does it mean? Newton law, a component which is going to compensate the force of retentive arm, but in opposite direction. Like what? Like a minor connector, like a portion of the saddle. We can explain this shortly. Rotational movement. In that retention, what is the main component? The main component is auxiliary occlusal rest. Just write down the stuff for now. Keep it for yourself for now. Auxiliary occlusal rests. Because once we start the design, we're going to put this, all what we explain right now, in the right position. Okay, I don't want to explain all of this again. That was the support, showing you the support, occlusal rest, how protect the denture to move down into the bone. That's support. Again, it's still support. Occlusal rest is important for support and basis. This is retention. How this retentive arm is important to place it below the cervical line, which is the undercut, so the denture will not fall down. That's retention. The main part is the retentive arm. That's retention. There's reciprocation. There's guys reciprocation, as you see right now, lateral movement and bracing. Resistance of this movement. Horizontal lateral movement. There is a difference between bracing and reciprocation. Reciprocation is, let me just get this one here. Yes, when you use reciprocation, means you reciprocate mainly on the tooth. What does it mean, the word reciprocation? mean you prevent the tooth to move, the tooth itself to move laterally, right? And then the tooth should be stable and strong. That's called reciprocation. So now this retentive arm will place force on the tooth. So we need to reciprocate this tooth to move backwards, because the force right now will be like this. Imagine you only have retentive arm, and retentive arm, you should place it in the tooth to cross the undercut, the height of contour, and to go all the way to undercut. What's going to happen is the tooth will move this way. You need to prevent the tooth to move this way. What you need to have in your system, class system, you need to have this blue color reciprocal arm. So right now, every time the patients put the denture in or take it out, he should place the rigid part first, which is not flexible. So they will not put any force because it's strong. They will not put any force, right? But the force coming from the flexible. Every time it opens and closes, it put forces in the tooth. In this case, these forces will be resisted by the reciprocal arm, so the tooth will be on null force, zero force. Is it guys clear, guys, what I'm saying right now about what does it mean by reciprocation? Because shortly we're gonna explain what does it mean by. I know, guys, some of you now maybe the first time ever get into this details information about RPD, especially the recently graduated candidates. Okay, so the reciprocal force mainly applied to prevent the force coming from the retentive arm on one single tooth by a reciprocal arm, which is a rigid arm. So now the effect on one tooth only. What about bracing? Bracing means hugging the whole bone, like here right now. Look at this. Now I need to hug the bone here, and I hug the bone here. The saddle should hug the bone, the rigid part of the saddle, which is blue part, like this blue part, this blue part, this blue part, this blue part, this blue part. Why? Why I need the saddle to stick nicely and hold in the bone to prevent the denture to move horizontally, the sides and this sides, right? To prevent the denture to move laterally or horizontally, this and this side. So now that, which is lateral movement, that's why we call it as lateral force for reciprocation. Guys, is it clear now, guys? What does it mean by reciprocation and pressing? Should I, guys, repeat again? I'm happy to repeat again. If you want me to repeat again. Okay. Okay, I will do it again. Again. Let's now only, guys, focus on one thing, which is reciprocation. Reciprocation. Guys, in English, what does it mean by the word reciprocation? When you reciprocate something, what does it mean? It means you resist. You prevent something to happen. Right? Now, reciprocation means you're going to prevent something to happen. You prevent something wrong to happen. So what exactly prevent to happen? You actually prevent the force from the retentive arm. What exactly going to prevent? You're going to prevent this force to make this apartment tooth to move backward, like this way. Because every time the clasp going to be inserted in the undercut, crossing the height of contour. Now imagine the patient has a denture in his hand. He want to place the denture on his mouth. So in this case, this arm should click, right? Click where? In the undercut area. When this arm clicks in the undercut area, it will result in a force in this direction on the tooth. So now the tooth will move that direction. We want to reciprocate the force on the tooth. That's why we're going to make the reciprocal arm, which is a hard component. So now what gonna happen is we tell the patient, when you want to wear the denture, right, you wear it from the back first. This is one of the instructions. You must ensure that the reciprocal arm, the arm in the back, is toward your palate, is toward the roof of the mouth, should actually be inserted first. Why? Because it doesn't cross. That's what you see, guys. Dentistry is just logic. Logic. There is nothing really. I would say you must to mag up. Now we tell the patient you place the reciprocal arm first on the tooth. Someone may tell me, but doctor, this reciprocal arm can put the force on the tooth. Never happened. Why? Because one, it's rigid. It's too hard to push there. Number two, doesn't actually click. It doesn't need to go all the way below the height of contour. It should be always above the height of contour. That's why now we're gonna the patient gonna place first the reciprocal arm, and then now he need to push the retentive arm down. By doing this, even by pushing the retentive arm down, do you think the tooth now will move backward or will be nicely supported by the reciprocal arm? You know, guys, tell me. Well, the tooth will be moving anyway, or will be nicely stable in place. You see, all removable partial dentures just this little concepts. Understand it, you'll be perfect. Thank you, doctor. Thank you. Supported by reciprocal arm. Very good. Thank you very much, Dr. Sharma. Guys, is it guys clear so far? Nicely stable. Guys, is it clear to everyone? Did you understand the concept? Dr. Nekta, thank you. Good. Dr. Kanika, good, guys. Easy concept so far? Very good. Let's move right now. Let's discuss the retentive arms. Once we discuss the indirect retention, you will be able, guys, to understand this as well. Now, I don't want to go on all the stuff. I already explained all the stuff right now. Okay, guys, that's the one we've been talking about. Here, zero movement. Here, retentive arm. Once it does cross, you see this one here right now? This line I'm going to draw right now. This line is height of contour. The blue dots, let me make it back here. This line is height of contour. This is blue color is the clasp arm, retentive clasp arm, the dark blue. And the light blue once it crosses the height of contour. Every time the retentive arm crosses the height of contour, in or out, like when the patient takes the denture out, or the patient wants to put the denture in, the tooth will move this word. You see, guys, this is the tooth movement right now. The intermittent lines is tooth movement. To prevent this, I need to have this nice reciprocal arm to prevent to happen. So tooth now is a staple, doesn't move anywhere. I hope now, guys, clear. What about indirect retention? Inductive tension is the movement of the denture across the Farcom line. This is a Farcom line right now. We mentioned before, the Farcom line is an imaginary line. This line, imagine, we just imagine it. Connecting between the last posterior, this is the last posterior, retentive arm, that is retentive arm, and this is retentive arm. There's a Farcom line. If a rotation of the denture happens, like lifting rotation, like you see now how the denture now moves up or moves down, right? That's called inductive tension. That's a Farcom. Here, guys, later on, we're going to place, later on, we're going to place the elephant here. Guys, what do you think, guys, the elephant will be? Do you think the elephant will be on the A letter or the B letter? Which side will be the elephant? On the A letter, right? That's why the denture will be lifting up from the back, right? You see, from the back will be lifting up and sunk in the anterior part of the jaw. Why? Because actually the forces, which is the elephant, on the anterior part heavier than the forces on the posterior part. Now, if I want to support the force and make a balance, what should I do? Easy concept. You know what? Place just a hard component here in this area on a hard tooth structure, right? So every time the patient bites here, this hard component, the teeth itself will stop the denture to sink down. Oh my God, is this a doctor the inductive tension part that I always get confused about? Yes, that's an easy one. So what is inductive tension or inductive tenor? Inductive tenor is a hard component supported by hard structure like a tooth, which is going to be perpendicular on the Farcom line. This is a Farcom line. We just mentioned right now it's a Farcom line. It's connecting between the most posterior retentive arms and away as much as it can from the Farcom lines. That's it. So now, like what? Auxiliary occlusal rest. Once you put canine rest here, or incisor rest here, or a premolar occlusal rest on the mesial side. Guys, pay attention to the word mesial, because this is a whole concept the RPI system has been built on, because the word mesial occlusal rest, because using the mesial occlusal rest will provide us good indirect tension and will prevent the tooth torque toward movement. So now, indirect tenor, what's the simple definition? Hard component supported on hard structure away and perpendicular on the Farcom line. Like what? Auxiliary occlusal rest, or can you please guys give me another component by yourself? Think about any component, hard and supported by hard tooth structure. Let me check your answer. I'm sure you're gonna say it. To give me inductive tension. Lingual plate, perfect. I love it. Lingual plate. Why? Very good, because lingual plate is hard because from metal. And Supported by the teeth, because lingual plate should be supported by the teeth here. Perfect. Easy now? Very good. You know what? We can move now straight away toward the clasps, I believe. That's a guy's away, the indirect tension. You see? The elephant and the frog. So now, if I want to resist the force of the elephant to prevent the denture to be lifted up from the back, what should I do? Too much force, the elephant too much force. I should place in my design auxiliary occlusal rests. Exactly like this. Once I placed the auxiliary occlusal rest on the canine, it never sunk inside anymore, down anymore. But on the top one, because we missed the auxiliary occlusal rest here, it sunk down nicely and easily. To prevent the elephant to sunk down, we need to resist this force by auxiliary occlusal rests. Done. I think we're done with this one. Guys, this is how the stabilization, the tipping movement on the lateral side. Okay? The reciprocation part. The reciprocation and, let's say, bracing to be in good way. Now, we're done. So far, I think things simple. Let's move into clasp system. Clasp or yes, clasp. I will not mention anything about support because support comes from occlusal rest and saddle. Let's now move into clasp system. By the way, before we move in this part, let me show you something very important first. The sequence. Sequence actually very important. Once you understand the sequence, both together with forces and components, and the classification we discussed in the beginning, things will be easy for you. Now, sequence. What do you think, guys, the five things we need to draw? What is the first thing we need to draw on the cast? Let me check this in Facebook. The first thing should be saddle. The saddle, the base. And the second one is, guys, okay, make it easy for you. The first, can you remind me what are the support components? If you tell me what are the support components, you will be able to tell what are the first thing you're going to draw on the cast. Thank you very much, Dr. Rohini. I love this. Occlusal rest and saddle. So let's put it in the this way. We say the saddle and occlusal rest. Okay, perfect. That's, guys, what we're gonna do right now. Guys, can you see my slides, guys? Please, guys, pay attention to this part. If you really wanna learn the draw, now you need to think about sequences now. Guys, can you see, guys, my slides? I'm waiting for someone to confirm because I don't want to draw. Yes, thank you, Dr. Shashank. Good. Now, supporting components. The first is supporting components. What are the saddle and occlusal rest? Please, guys, remind me with these colors, okay? Saddles are gonna be yellow, and occlusal rest, we're gonna give it red color. Please, guys, remind me of these colors. The second, after we do supporting components, what is the second sequence or second step? Direct retention. Which, guys, component is important for direct retention? I'm waiting for your answer. I need it the same way exactly I said it. Very good, Dr. Nikita. Retentive arm. But which, I'm very happy with the clasps. But which part in the clasps? Guys, don't tell me the clasps because wrong. If you say the only clasp, no. The clasp has occlusal rest for support. And the clasp has reciprocal arm for reciprocation. And the clasp has minor connector to connect the main clasp with the saddle or the base, and it has a retentive arm. That's what we're looking for. Yes, the third, 1/3 terminal part of retentive arm. Perfect. I love it. Once you guys, you use the right words, the right keywords, exam will be easy for you. Good. This is what we're going to do. The retentive, right, terminal, flexible retentive arm in the class system, the terminal, the tip. We're going to give it green color. After this, we're going to go with bracing and reciprocation. Which component, guys, for bracing and reciprocation? We just mentioned right now. The reciprocal arm in the clasp system, plus some parts of the minor and some parts of the major connector. That's a one. And we're going to give it blue color. Then what else after bracing and reciprocation, guys, we need to draw on the cast? I'm very happy, guys. You write down the right thing. That's really great. Yes, reciprocal arm. I'm very happy. That's good, Dr. Tasmin. Dr. Kafa, perfect. Very good, Dr. Kafa. Thank you, Dr. Nectar. Yes, minor connector. Perfect, guys. You see, that's what I'm telling you. Write down the information. It will be easy to you. What after this? Connector. Minor connector and rigid connector. We're going to give the minor connector blue color and the major connector black color. If you tell me what is the last things has been missed so far and which color you're going to give, I will be very, very, very happy. There is still 0.5. We already have we have already base and occlusal rest. Then we did the clasp, all the clasp system now. 2 and 3, the clasp system. 4, it's a part of the clasp and major connector. There's only one thing missing right now, the main important thing. I need, thank you very much, Dr. Siyash, indite retention, indite retainer, which is auxiliary rest. So if you said the word auxiliary rest, I may consider it's correct, but to be on the safer side, the indite retention or indite retainer. Good. Indite retention, auxiliary rest, and additional components, as we said, lingual plate sometimes. It's going to give it a red color. Then you just review the complete design. That's it. That's what you need to know. That's, guys, as you see right now, that's one case. Can these guys give me the name of this? What is the name of this? Actually, let me get the last design. There's the last design. Now, let's now play a game. Let's play a game. Guys, no, this is design has something missing in it, definitely. I need to get the last design. Yep, now I'm happy. Yep, now I'm happy with this design. Now, guys, how to name this part? Tricky part. What is the name? Please don't tell me clasp. Guys, how you name this? The blue color component. No, I said, Dr. Melzma, Dr. Nikita, I said, please, guys, don't tell me clasp. I'm referring only to the blue part, right? Please, guys, in exam, you must be very, you know what? Very sharp. Thank you for everyone has mentioned reciprocal arm. And thanks for effort if you said that's a ring clasp. Now, let's now play another game, just to check on your understanding. Guys, what do you think is this? Let me know. This. Green Porsche, what is this? Let me check your answer. Very good, the retentive arm. I'm very happy. Very happy, retentive arm. What about this one? This one is very, very, very tricky. This red component first, because I give you the most tricky part. If you said it, I will give you a hint right now. Look at the hint. I will give you a hint right now. Back again. Good. Let me check. No. If you say only occlusal rest, I will not be happy. No. If you only say occlusal rest, I will not be happy. But if you said auxiliary occlusal rest, I will be happy. If you said indite retainer, I will be happy. Okay, you know what? As if I didn't ask you before. Okay? This is the first time I ask you right now. Let's guys pretend that we didn't ask. Okay, I never asked you about this component before. Let's ask again. Please, guys, don't surprise me, okay? Please don't surprise me. Okay, now, guys, what is this red color component? As if I never asked before. Thank you very much, Dr. Tasmim. Auxiliary cruiser rest. I like this one. Thank you, Dr. Shashank. Thank you, Dr. Noor. And Dr. Tena. Thank you very much, guys. Easy now? Okay, very good. Perfect. Guys, so far, things are clear to you right now? So far, guys, things clear to you right now? Thank you, Dr. Shank, letting me know. Now, we finished with sequence. Let's now go with clasp system. Just to understand when you need to choose every clasp. And then after this, we're going to discuss about, I will not discuss the inductor retainer anymore because now it's somehow you have good idea. But what we need to discuss now from components to be able to design two things right now, clasp system and measure connectors. If we know them, we'll be able to design. So let's start right now with clasp system. I will give you the most important clasps system, the one we regularly use. Wow, we're gonna finish the design in a very short time. I'm very happy, guys, about this. Guys, can you see, guys, my new slides for retention from over partial denture? Yes. Let's start. Look, guys, we discussed before what is retention and then which part is retentive arm. This is, guys, this part is for retention. And this arm, the rigid one, for reciprocation. This arm should be below the height of contour, which is undercut. And this arm should be above the undercut. Occlusal wrist is for support. And this is a minor connector. And this is the saddle. Clear. And this is a tooth. What's the name of this system? It is a gold standard system. We call it as an acre clasp. Why it's a gold standard? One is very strong, nice. Hold the denture in place nicely. Two, it doesn't break easily. But doctor, you said it's strong. What does it mean? Does it really put too much forces on the tooth? Yes. Can I use him free in the saddle when there is no teeth in the back here? No, not preferred. Unless you do modification for the same system. And that's what we're going to discuss shortly right now. So now, which design, which class, or which design we like to use it the most? Class 3. Why? Because it's bounded. What does it mean bounded? Because there is another tooth here as well. So now I can put one clasp here as well. Clasp system here on this tooth. Now it's bounded. Now, two teeth will carry few teeth, acceptable. But if there is no tooth in the back here, don't use the standard acre clasp. So now let's revise this, guys. So now the standard acre clasp, which class we can use it? In which class, guys, can be used? So now once I see this class, think about acre clasp straight away. Class 3, very good. Can be used in class 4? Yes, because it's bounded. But it will have some element of modification. Can I use it in class 1 and class 2? Not really preferred. So which one we should use it in class 1 and 2? We can explain now which one. A question. Where about the gold standard primary location for any occlusal rest? Is it close to the edentulous area or away from the edentulous area? I will ask the question again. Where about, which part of the tooth is the primary location of occlusal rests? Is it close to the edentulous area, like close to here? Like occlusal rest, this guy's called edentulous area. This edentulous area should be close to edentulous area or away from edentulous area to occlusal rest. As a gold standard, as an acre clasp, it should be close to edentulous area. But because we worried about class 1 and class 2, the torque action, we can modify it and place the occlusal rest away from the edentulous area, which is going to be in this case mesial to edentulous area, mesial to the tooth structure, mesial part. Clear now, guys? Let's move on now. We already mentioned this. Okay, clasp system. We have two only based on location. We have two clasp system. One, as you see right now, is occlusely approaching clasp. Can you guys give me another name for occlusely approaching clasp? It's something with bulge. It can be something bulge. And the second is gingerly approaching clasp. If someone say this one, I'll be very happy. Thank you, Dr. Shashank and Dr. Leia. Suprapulge. Suprapulge. Suprapulge means what? Occlusely approaching clasp. Why it's supra? Because you see, guys, the insertion. Look, guys, the insertion here. This supra, the insertion, and the insertion of the clasp itself. The insertion of the clasp is infrapulge, but this is suprapulge, the insertion. So now occlusally approaching, please, guys, please learn this language, okay? Occlusally approaching is suprapulge, and gingival approaching is infrapulge. Now, occlusally approaching, it has an issue with static. Has issue with static. Not looking good. Very clear and obvious when people smile. What else? Has issue with torque action. Make the tooth lose too much force. But hygienic. It's good because it's not coming from the gums. Still hygienic. And strong. What about gingival approaching clasp? What has happened is, when they have in the first instance occlusal approaching clasp, they've been saying, okay, now we need really to get another design which is aesthetically appreciated. They mentioned, okay, in this case, you can use gingerly approaching clasp. What does it mean? Hide the clasp by the lips. When it's gingerly approaching clasp, the clasp will be hidden by the lips. That is the main two reason why we use gingival approaching clasp. One, aesthetic. Two, less torque force on the tooth. Tooth will not move. Now, saying this about gingivally approaching clasp, it has less torque. So which classes we need to use? Class 1, class 2. Class 1 and class 2 as if an old guy, old person. Class 1, class 2. You cannot use acre clasp with them. We're going to be very heavy on them. But use gingivally approaching clasps. So now, this for class 1 and class 2. This for class 3 and class 4. I hope, guys, clear right what we say right now. Let's go in details. Gingival approaching clasp, acre clasp, as we mentioned, strong, clean, circle all the tooth around the tooth, used in class 3 and class 4, easy to use, easy to fix, but it does actually cover the old tooth, and that will result in torque action and not static. So in this case, if we use it in, can we use acre clasp in class 1 and class 2? The answer is yes. Really? Yes, but not the standard one. Which one should be the modified acre clasp? Which one is modified acre clasp? The modified acre clasp, it will be used not merely for static. Any occlusely approaching clasp doesn't have good look. But if we modify it, we only modify it for the force, to produce less force on the tooth. Like what? Reverse acre clasp. We don't use it that much. Double acre clasp. Yes, we've been used, especially in class 4. Circumferential C clasp. Sometimes. Multiple clasp. Sometimes. extended arm clasp, sometimes. Half and half clasp. Yes, we use it in cases for, if someone, guys, answer this. When do you guys will use half and half clasp? If you said it, I will give you $2 if I see you. Which case, guys, we use half and half clasp? Dr. Nikita, I will give you $2 if I see you personally. How did you know this, Dr. Nikita? Very good, Dr. Ismet. Same to you. Yes, doctors, Ravi, you're right as well. Mobile to sometimes, yes, to nullify the first. I agree, Doctor. Oh, well, seems like gonna pay too much money today. Yes, Azure Primo, which is a pair apartment. Very good. Guys, how did you know about this, guys? You're very good. I thought really you will not know them. Wow, everyone know it. Very good. RPA clasp. This is the most important. The most important. All of this. Ring clasp. Oh, this one too. This is the second most important. These two very, very important. Back action clasp, whatever. So now, guys, let's summarize this. Or closely approaching clasps. Acre clasp, the standard acre clasp we use it in class 3 and class 4. Continuous double acre, class 4 for reciprocation. This class 4 for the other side, the dentulous, the dentulous side for class 4 and class 3. These guys can be used in class 3 and class 4 on the dentulous side. Half and half, Pierre abutment, loose tooth, like standalone. RPA used in class 1 and class 2. Class 1, class 2, mainly when there is upper 5, use on 5, not in 4 for static. Ring clasp. The ring clasp is the king clasp. I call it the king clasp. Why? Because it should be used in the rotated inclined molar. Rotated inclined molar. To be like a crown. That's why king. I hope now every one of these guys is clear to you. I don't think really we need to go through all the stuff, but I'm going to show you a photo. This is the double echo. Double echo and pressure. We used in class 4. That's all class 4. It's used in the last molars. And in class 3 as well can be used in dentulous area. RPA system means RPA system is brother or sister to RPI system, which is gingival approaching. R means occlusal rest, mesial occlusal rest. So R for rest. P is proximal plate, which is this part. A is acre arm, occlusally approaching acre arm. So RPI system. R, the mesial occlusal rest, acre retentive arm, and proximal plate. And the minor connector here. A minor connector here. Which case is being used? Class 1, class 2, to prevent movement or torque of this tooth back. Easy now, guys, this class. Let's keep moving. RPA and RPI, they are similar, but the only difference is for RPI, the arm will be gingivally approaching. Like, you're gonna draw it this way. Gingival approaching, we draw it this way. And the more static. Half and half, we use it for loose teeth and for pair abutment. That's, guys, half and half. Half from the buccal, half from the lingual, two occlusal rest. So now the tooth will not move. Right will not move. Left will not move. Backward will not move forward. Isolated premolar and molars, which is pair abutment. Ring clasp, it's used normally in rotated tooth, tilted rotated tooth. And then sometimes it can come with one occlusal rest, and it can come with two occlusal rests. Guys, for you guys, you have all this class and these sessions already in your recordings before. You can go through them again, please. Ring class, we already mentioned this. Back action, forget about for now. Forget about this one for now. Forget this part about for now. Let's now go to gingival approaching clasp. The one I want you to know about gingival approaching clasp is RPI system. Which cases RPI system will be used? It will be used in class 1 and class 2. This system. Why? It's very nice and light on the tooth. As you see here right now, it's very light. So the force will not push the tooth back, right? And then not even any weight, so there will not be any movement, right? That's one thing. Other thing is, it's good static because it will be hidden by the lips, so statically appreciated. Force-wise, it's very light on the tooth. And the design is mesial occlusal rest, distal proximal plate, and I-bar retentive arm gingivally approacher, like this way. And then there's a minor connector from the back. Okay, guys, it has some design, some contraindication. And then this, guys, very important to know when should you use it and when you shouldn't use it, because the task will giving you this information. Tells you, for example, there is a tissue undercut as more than 3 to 4 millimeter. Means you cannot use it. It's very deep now. And then they say tissue undercuts or the spaces is actually the spaces for the sulcus, not the depth, the space is more than 4 millimeter. Now you can use it. There's a big difference, guys, between the depth of the sulcus, like here, how deep is the sulcus in the bone, and the height of the gum to the mucobuccal fold. So we need, this is a gum, so it should be at least 4 millimeter. And if the depth is more than 2 millimeter, you cannot use it. If there is gum recession, we don't like to use it. Severe gum recession, the recession. Now the combination clasp, I call it the magic clasp. Why? Because actually it sorts out lots of problems. If you cannot use RPI system, if you cannot use RPA system, if you cannot use acre clasp system, any other system, straight away think about the combination clasp. Why? Because combination clasp, it has two types. One based on, we call it magic clasp, based on the design, as you see right now, still all steel, but the design is very weird. Still you can use the occlusal rest on the distal and the cervical arm on the lingual, but that's ACA, right? But we change the arm being an ACA clasp to be gingival approaching, like I-bar clasp. And also it can be used for as material, mix of material. How? we use a gold wire wrought material like this one. Why? Because flexible. So now the magic clasp is combination clasp. It can be by design, like this very weird design, or by material. It should be wire, a wrought wire, which is flexible. Okay, what about major connectors? I think we're done for now. Major connectors. Once guys we discuss the major connector, we now be able to do the design. After this, we'll be able to do the design. Major connector. Guys, did you get tired, guys, or not yet? By myself, I'm tired now. No, I don't want that attention. I want major connector. One, two, three, and that attention. Sorry, major connector. That's here. Okay. Oh, by the way, guys, guys, we start. Wow, I forgot. Guys, we're starting, guys, the crash course on Monday, tomorrow, after tomorrow. Guys, are you guys aware about this? Because people keep asking me. So, guys, we actually starting the crash course, the orientation of crash course. And that's, by the way, guys, the last crash course on Monday. Okay. I'm good because people keep asking me and they cannot answer my message to everyone. Okay, guys, measure connector. We need a measure connector to be strong and clean and smaller in size as much as we can, covering as small as we can, as smaller area as much as we can. These are the things. One, should be strong. If it's weak, it can break. So the measure connector, one, it must be strong. Two, should be hygienic. It means it shouldn't cover too much on the tissues, like less areas, like this, for example. You see, less, but strong. But one must be strong. Must be strong. Measure connector. Rigid. You know what? Let me now go into type straight away. You must, guys, have spaces, as you see right now, between the gums and the margins. Place at least 6 millimeters away from the gingival margin. So from the gum margin to the border. Now, bars. We like bars, but not as much as we like straps. Straps is a gold standard. Anterior strap, middle strap, and posterior strap, anteroposterior. The gold standard, I would say, is anteroposterior. This one, strap, is the most common design or type of measure connector we use for maxillary classes, especially class 1 and class 2. Why strong? Anterior and posterior strong. And then it does actually cover less tissues than the palatal plates. The palatal plates, it can be used when you have class 4, class 1, and very long span. Like really, there are lots of missing teeth in this case, or you maybe you need induct retention. In this case, you can use piezo plates. Now, what about the lingual? Guys, anterior is too weak, guys. It breaks easily. Don't use anterior bars. Anterior strap can be good sometimes in class 1, but still weak. Like this one, but still weak. It breaks. I'm just giving you the summary, like the things the gold standard. Mandibular. The gold standard, guys, for mandibular is lingual bar. That's a gold standard. If you have a lingual bar, perfect. When exactly lingual bar should be used? When you have enough space with a lingual bar. What does it mean? You at least have the rule of 3 millimeter above the lingual bar. It's here. 3 millimeter above the lingual bar, 3 millimeter thickness of the bar, 3 millimeter below the bar. 3 millimeter from the bar to the free gum, free gingiva, 3 millimeter for the thickness, 3 millimeter from the floor of the mouth to the lower border of the bar. If you really have this one, these spaces, use lingual bar. Why? Because very hygienic and strong. Lingual plates. Sublingual bar, if you don't have enough space, you see, can use sublingual bar, but not the second best. The second best is lingual plate. Lingual plate. When should you use lingual plate? If you cannot use lingual bar, easy answer. Or you really need for induct retention. That's it. Use lingual plates if you're looking for induct retention, or you can use the lingual bar. That's it, guys. The rest you can read them. Let's now do designing. Ready, guys, for design right now? Guys, again, guys, the last crash course will be on Monday, the orientation session for the last crash course. Just if you're asking. Okay. Kennedy class 1 design. We still remember about the sequence and the function of each. We already discussed this before. Now, let's guys do this case together. Which gas class is this? Class 1. Very good. So guys, what is the first component we need to draw? Guys, the first gas component. Thank you, saddle. What's the color of saddle? Yellow, right? That's a saddle. After, guys, the saddle, what's the second component? The rest. Which color of the rest? Red. Now, class 1, which class we like to use? Is it acre clasp or RPI system? RPI. In RPI system, the occlusal rest will be on mesial or distal? Will be on mesial, like the way I made it right now. Right? Mesial. Very good. Do we need to put any occlusal rest right now? I don't think so. So now we did the occlusal rests and the saddle. After, guys, this, what we need to do? After this, guys, what we need to do? After we do the occlusal rest, we said the third one support, two retentive. Retentive arm. Which, guys, system? Okay, I keep this, guys. Do not forget it. RPI. We're now using RPI. Okay? So now the retentive arm will be. Now, guys, the retentive arm will be. Let's move this way. Okay. Let me do it again. Okay. Quickly. Occlusal rest red. Major cruiser rest. And then retentive arm, RPI system, right? RPI. Sorry, guys. RPI. Okay. Yes. So the arm will become from here to there. And from here to there. That's now gingivally approaching. Okay. Good. After, guys, retentive arm, what we need to do? Reciprocation. We need to get reciprocation. From where about the reciprocation coming from? Reciprocation can come, and retention, both of them, they actually can come from the guiding planes here. Sorry, I make it as a guiding planes, retention as well. I make it green. And you still have a part for reciprocation, which is blue in color. Is this part of the saddle? Because we mentioned there is some part of the saddle can give me reciprocation, plus minor connector. It will give me reciprocation. We said reciprocation can be minor connector. Right? Very good. Now that's a lower. Now, guys, after this, after reciprocation, indirect retention. We're now thinking about indirect retention. Right? Let's draw the Farcom line first. That's a Farcom line. Whereabouts it should be the closest part to place Do we need induct retention for class 1? Yes. Where about should be the clasp arm? We have two choices here. One is to choose auxiliary occlusal rests. Two, forget about auxiliary occlusal rest and use lingual plates because that's a lower arch, right? But I prefer in this case, as long as there's not that much indication, in this case, use lingual bar still and put auxiliary occlusal rest on the key 9. We call it cingulum rest, like this one. Make it red again. One line here and one line here. So this line and this line, they are a cingulum rests to work as indirect retainer. So now I'm gonna make one line here, a cingulum rest and cingulum rest. And the minor connector, it should be now in the middle, like here, to take the both together. Like this way. Guys, is that clear, guys, so far? I don't know, guys, if you can see, guys, drawing nice or not. On key 9, yes. Cingulum on key 9. Guys, is that clear, guys? You can see, guys, my drawing nicely? Very good. There is only one thing missing right now. Do you know, guys, what things is missing right now? Only one thing. The measure connector. Right? So the measure connector will make it black. Black in color. And then we connect it from here. You see this? Let me do it this way. This coming from here, and then the connector will start from here. Start from this. Away from the gums, 4 millimeter, 3 to 4 millimeter. Take this minor connector with the whole thing, and then it goes until this part, which is, anyway, it will be all metal around the saddle. Guys, actually, guys, so far we done. And then check. Do we have saddle? Yes. Did we put our class system? Yes, RPI. That's R, that's P, RPI, done. RPI, done. Minor connector for reciprocation. Induct retainer, done. We connect all together. Guys, have you guys missed anything? Guys, have you guys missed anything? Guys, that's the easiest way, the simplest way. You can change as you know what, you can do your own design. Those are, guys, have we forget anything? No. Let's do another design, okay? Quickly. So guys, that's a design made by the, look guys, same design. Let me remove mine. You will find we did the same things. Saddle, rest, retentive, minor, auxiliary. Modification. Easy now, guys, with modification. Okay? Let's start, guys. What we can start with first? Good game, huh? Saddle, right? After saddle, retentive arms. Now we need to decide about the clasp system. Once we get the retention, we need to decide which clasp system. Here, RPI, this side. Here, it's a peer abutment. So we prefer half and half or combination clasp. Why? Because we need to put gold wire here. So the first option, half and half. Second option is a gold wire, wrought wire combination clasp, the magic clasp. Let's now decide. Which one, guys, decide, one or two? I will go with your decision. Do you want to put half and half or magic clasp? Combination then. Okay, combination. Let's put combination. So combination right now. So retentive arm, green. Here will be gingivally approaching. Retentive arm for combination for wrought wire should be occlusally approaching, not gingivally approaching. After this, we think about this tooth. That's a key 9. Do we really need to put a clasp on it? I don't think so. This 2 clasp will be enough. Okay. Otherwise, if you want to put clasp in this one, you can put RPI system. But again, will be crazy because you're coming from this side, will be crazy. Combination clasp can work fine. But you know what? I prefer to not clasp it. Two clasps is enough in this case. Now, what else? Occlusal rests. Which color? Red color. This is RPI system, mesial. Here, we doing combination. So we should make distal, not mesial. Otherwise will be crazy design. You're gonna put one minor connector, two minor connector, one here, one there. We try to reduce the minor connector as much as we can. So we can only use one minor connector here, not 2. Why? Because it's still soft. It's nice. It's low. It's 5. Not very much static. Gold is good, so not much force in it. I can use occlusal rest here. And then I don't need to use minor connector. 2 minor connector, 1 is enough. Occlusal rest. What else, guys? Reciprocation. What's the gas for reciprocation? Blue. What we need for reciprocation? Reciprocal arm. And here, reciprocation from some part of the saddle. And then minor connector here. Do I need minor connector this side? Yes, we're gonna need now. Actually, even you may even not need. No, it's better to put minor connector because, okay, guys, we done for now. What else, guys, left? We still need to get the guiding plates, right? Let's finish guiding plates as well for now. can be green because more it's retentive. That's okay. Make it like this color. Now we're looking for now induct retention. Do we really need induct retention? Yes. Imaginary line from this retentive to this retentive. Same things like before. So the best to place singulum auxiliary rest here. Do we really need another singulum? Maybe you can even add one more here as well, like the last case we did. Now, are you happy with this design? No. Why? Because we still need to have one occlusal rest in this side because it's a pair abutment. We need to make the tooth, but let me remove this line first. Okay, so now guys, as a final, what we need to do is one occlusal rest here, because that's a pair abutment, and then one singulum rest here, retentive indirect retention, and one single. You cannot. It's up to you, because it already is retentive now, and then connect all this together. But you know what? It needs to be a little bit away, like this way, just to make it in the right way. This should be a little bit away. Okay, guys, this is a design we made. There should be red here, and one retentive here, and red here. How, guys, does it sound to you so far? Let's do now class. Okay, guys, let's do right now. Okay. That design, guys, by the book. Okay, guys, this is a design by the book, okay? So saddle, because it's pair apartment, is that you have half and half. Either use half and half, or use gold wire. So now we use gold wire with two occlusal rests. This RPI system, same exactly as my design so far. And then lingual bar, and then one inductive retentive singulum arm here, singulum auxiliary occlusal rest, singulum auxiliary rest for inductive retainer, and then this is one minor connector, and this minor connector, minor connector here. This one. That's it. Okay, let's now move to class 2. You now, guys, can tell me, okay? I believe by yourself right now, be able to design. Guys, can you see, guys, my slides? No, we cannot. Gingival abrasion, no. No, cannot. Wired, guys, why for gingival abrasion? No. Guys, can see my slide now, guys? Which one, guys, you can see? Good. Okay, let's start. You guys now, you are the one going to the side. Okay, guys, can you see or not? Yes, okay. You are the one right now going to the side, guys, which we can choose as components. Guys, the first thing says we need to draw which color? That's gas class 2 without modification. After this, guys, the second one we need to draw is retentive to decide retentive components or retention components. To decide gas retention components, we need to know what is system we're gonna use. It's a free and the saddle, so we like RPI system. Make this one green. RPI system, where is the occlusal ratio be? Actually, yes. What about here? We said in class, when you have edentulous area, edentulous half, like this half, we like to use double acre, right, or reverse acre. I will use double acre. The system here doesn't use double acre, but I will use double acre. What about to give me reciprocation, guys? The benefit of this double acre is give me, we call it how we guys call we call it for the other side reciprocation. When I remember, guys, I will let you know how we call it. Maybe someone now remember this. Definitely, I've mentioned one of my lectures, but guys, if you remember, write it down. Now, after this, guys, what we need to do? Occlusal rests. Where about the occlusal rest here? Mesial. Mesial. What about the occlusal rest? Because double acre, I will place one here, one there. Then reciprocation. What we need to get from reciprocation? Minor connector. We put minor connector here. And then I don't want to place. You know what? You don't need to put anything here. If I put double acre, I put double acre. I don't want to use this. Why? It's more hygienic. I will reduce this component. I will reduce. You look at here, guys, difference between this design and my design. This design has one minor connector here. I will, and then I remove this one. I will only use one here. Reciprocal arm, reciprocal arm. And then guiding blades, reciprocation. Done. You don't need even for anything. And then blue for reciprocation, blue for reciprocation. And then black to connect this. Done. Do we need for inductive tension? No, because this acts as inductive tensions on. That's it. I don't need this one even inductive tension. This is by itself inductive tension. Or you can follow this, both of them correct, but this more hygienic and acceptable. Okay, what else? Same things. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. Guys, what's the guys' favorite things we gotta draw right now? Saddle. Then retentive. To choose the arms, we must decide what is the clasp system. Both of them, they are bounded. If they are bounded, so in this case, I can use acre here and acre there, which is this for bounded, right? And here, so this one acres, And this one RPI. So now let's put the retentive arms, green. One here. But this one, it may look like somehow rotated. Like from the view, looks like a little bit rotated. Not really. Look, if rotate use wrinkle, you know what? Let's change. I'm going to use acre here and here ring clasp. Okay, so the ring clasp, we put the retentive arm come from this way because undercut is mesio buckle, and then this one coming from here, and this RPI system. Occlusal rests red. So I will put the basic here on distal, and the basic is close because RPI is because the ring clasp, the basic on distal, and this mesial. Now, what about reciprocation? Blue, that's a reciprocal arm. It coming from here all the way until here, like this. And green should be connected, by the way, because it will be like a ring all around until here. And the blue starts from here. Okay, and then acre. And then guiding blades. And then minor connector. What else? After guys reciprocation, yes, we're gonna do this blue, and there's blue, and there's blue, and there's blue. After this, what we need to do? We need to connect all this together. What is the best way to connect all of this? Maybe you can use middle strap like this. That's the best in this case, middle strap. One middle strap is fine for this case. Or anterior-posterior, one here and one there, keep the space. That's it for this case. Any inductive tension? This one can act as inductive tension. You don't need. Especially in class 3. Done. Do you want to guys do the lower one? Oh, that's okay. Wow, it's 2 hours now. Yeah, middle strap is good. No, you don't need. For class, mostly for class 3, no inductive tension, because as you see, we already got that from the stuff. 1/7 because 1/7 is rotated Melsman. And by the way, in 1/7 as well, you can do occlusal rests. Look at this. In 1/7 for ring clasp, we can do this as well. Ring clasp, you can do one occlusal rest here, one occlusal rest here, reciprocal arm all the way here, retentive arm all the way here. It can be 2 occlusal rest or 1 occlusal rest. 2 is as well as fine. Guys, enough guys, or do you want to do this one? I think at least guys good idea then, right? Yeah, this one, look at this. I moved this, I moved it. I moved, you see guys, this one? Like this, right? I moved it by, you can even do by one single and rest here. Guys, this is this, by the way, like this is this. Exactly the same. Enough, guys? Very good. Listen this lecture again if Facebook will keep it. And then we'll, guys, one by one, you will understand all the stuff. Okay, guys? See you there, guys, on Monday. The orientation session for Oski champions. See you tomorrow, Sunday. Thank you very much, guys. Listen to it one more time. You will understand all the stuff. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great night. Thank you very much, guys. See you then on Monday for the crash course, and see you then on tomorrow for part 2 for Oski. So good. Thanks very much, Dr. Franzi. Thank you, Dr. Sepia, very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Shiva. Thank you, Dr. Omar, very much. No problem at all, Dr. Omar. Thank you, Dr. Soda. And thank you, Dr. Soda. Thank you, Dr. Neshma. You explained what? You explained beautifully, Dr. Bid. We love it. We loved it. Thank you very much, Dr. Shariachi, for attending. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much. I'm happy you like it. Thank you, Dr. Hamid. Yes, Dr. Ismet, tell me, but 1-4 is a static zone. Yes. We prefer acre for bounded. No, not acre. You can use a half and half, or you can use, it depends on if it pair abutment, you have no other option. You cannot use if pair abutment will not be strong enough to withstand the forces if you use changefully approaching. It should be closely approaching. You can use combination or you can use half and half. As I mentioned before in the beginning, pair abutment, either half and half or combination. Thank you, Dr. Shashank, very much. Thank you, Dr. Soda, Dr. Neshma. Thank you, Dr. Monisha. Thank you, Dr. Omar. Thank you very much, Dr. Omar, for saying this. Thank you very much, Dr. Omar. You are great. Thank you very much. Thanks for motivation. You're really beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Natali. Thank you, Dr. Sabika. Should you please do? I think already, Dr. Sarisha, if you go through the prosonics, you will find this lecture there. Like I already explained, I already have my recordings in previous lecture. You will find somehow the same things but different approaches. Thank you very much, Dr. Anika. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best, Dr. Anika. By the way, guys, we're gonna use for this crash course, we're gonna use definitely different approach, completely new approach. Things really every year I wanna do it, but I didn't get enough time to do because I was doing other things. But now I have good enough time because I'm not doing any more Bidu bites or any more cakes. So now I'm doing Bidulicious. Bev, like you will love it. You will love it. It has answers for the questions, direct toward the questions and concepts right away. Thank you very much, Dr. Andrea. This Dr. Nikita. If we use gingerly approaching combination, if we use, yes. Let me get this comment. Dr. Bidu, if we use gingerly approaching combination, clasp, the retentive arm should be still steel on or and not wire. If we use gingerly approaching. Yes, it should be stainless steel. Yes. Nickel titanium stainless steel because wrought wire, it cannot be, you're right. Because wrought wire cannot be gingerly approaching because it's weak. It's not strong. So you cannot use it. Now I missed where I am. Yes. Dr. Sangita depends. Are you going, Doctor, if the modification space is small, we don't count them, right? It depends. Are you going to replace them or not? If you're going to replace them, count them. If you're not going to replace them, don't count them. In Lowe's apartment, can we use wrought wire for? Yes, definitely, yes. That's gonna be the best option, Dr. Hamid. Thank you, Dr. Tanvi, very much. I know you like always Prosonics, Dr. Tanvi. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Asna, very much. Thank you, Dr. Nikita. Thank you, Dr. Anupa. Dr. I noted that the initial TG folder, no Dr. Gilan. Nothing has been changed at all. Nothing has been removed, okay? Nope, nothing has been removed, Dr. Gilan. Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Dr. Bhavana, very much, Bhavana. Thank you very much, Dr. Amna. Excited for the crash course? Yes, I'm very excited too. I'm working day and night for it. And let's see, guys, if you're gonna like it or not, but I'm sure you're gonna like it. Dr. Bidu, last time you provide amazing notes on motor incisor hypomineralization, fluorosis. Can you please provide as well? If it hasn't been provided earlier, it means it must be in the crash course stage. Yes, because I provide the notes on the right time. So yes, Dr. Mac, I will check this, but definitely it will be in the crash course. Yes, Dr. Tanvir, I'm doing even easy notes for cleft lip and cleft palate. Yes, no problem, Dr. Tanvir. Thank you, Dr. Sayeda, very much. Thank you, Dr. Sayeda. All the best to every one of you guys. See you then on Monday for part 1, and see you then tomorrow for part 2 for OSCE. Communication OSCE. Thank you very much. Dr. Teresa, if single central incisor missing? Yes. Will be class 4. That is like, you think too much of the Teresa, believe me. Yes, but that should be, yes, anterior, single, that's a class 4, but it's not actually, no, we cannot even call it as class 4, but if you want to provide RPD, I don't know why and how are you going to provide RPD for, it is not clinically acceptable, but theoretically it's class 4. Do implant and that's it. Dr. Samra, it's already L8 diamond already given to you. Please guys check the folders, guys, okay? It's there. The diamond L8's there. Please check them. Thank you very much, you guys. Have a great night. Thank you. Bye-bye.